How did you lose your virginity? It was a crisp autumn evening, and I was sitting with my friends at our favorite cafe. We were all in our early 20s, and the conversation had turned to our personal lives. One of my friends, Rachel, asked the question that would change the course of our conversation. How did you lose your virginity? The question was met with a mixture of laughter and nervous glances. We had all been friends since college, but this was a topic we had never really discussed before. I, for one, was hesitant to share my story. I had always been a bit of a private person, and the thought of revealing such an intimate detail made me uncomfortable. But as I looked around the table, I saw that my friends were all waiting for me to share my story. Rachel, in particular, was looking at me with a curious expression. So, taking a deep breath, I began to tell my story. I lost my virginity when I was 17, I said, trying to sound casual. It was with my high school boyfriend. We had been dating for a few months, and we both felt ready to take our relationship to the next level. As I spoke, I couldn't help but think back to that night. It had been a nervous and exciting experience, but also a bit awkward. My friends listened intently, asking occasional questions and making supportive noises. When I finished my story, the table fell silent for a moment. Then, one by one, my friends began to share their own stories. Rachel went first, telling us about how she had lost her virginity to her college boyfriend. Then, it was Mike's turn, and he regaled us with a hilarious story about how he had lost his virginity at a music festival. As we shared our stories, I realized that losing one's virginity was not just a physical experience, but also an emotional one. It was a rite of passage, a moment that marked the transition from adolescence to adulthood. As the night wore on, our conversation turned to other topics. We talked about our careers, our relationships, and our dreams for the future. But the conversation about our virginity loss experiences had brought us closer together. We had shared a part of ourselves with each other, and that had created a deeper bond between us. As I looked around the table, I felt grateful for my friends. We had been through a lot together, and we had always supported each other. And as we parted ways that night, I knew that our friendship would last a lifetime. We had shared our secrets, and that had brought us closer together. The question, how did you lose your virginity, had seemed like a simple one, but it had led to a deeper conversation about our lives and our experiences. And as I reflected on that conversation, I realized that sometimes the most unexpected questions can lead to the most meaningful connections.